I was pleased to see that poetry was explicitly included in the Common Core. For me, that's sort of a silver lining, if you will, because quite often poetry is an afterthought, if it's even thought of at all, in a lot of skills sets and curriculum guidelines. It's like if we have time, we'll do a poem. But the fact that it's there in the standards means we have to spend some time with it, and it's created a need for teachers to understand how to do that. So that's a plus. Now, how you do that is the question, and then how it's assessed is another question that we haven't really even talked about as a profession. I'm pleased that poetry's on the menu, so to speak. That's a good thing. And I'm trying to do what I can to guide educators in doing so in a way that still respects the beauty and language and fun of poetry. Mainly, to me, the argument is more poetry, not necessarily the skill focus. The more exposure kids have to hearing and reading 100 poems in a school year, the more they will get that genre, the more prepared they will be to try and write a poem, the more they'll understand how a poet constructs a poem. That is the key. And when you just do one poem a year, one poem in Poetry Month, that's not enough exposure for kids to really get poetry and understand it and be able to appreciate it. And unfortunately, that's been our model for a long time. So the skills are really not the answer, the approach is the answer, and I would say quantity is important. Just a lot of exposure to books and poems is going to help no matter what your skill instruction model. And so we're trying to infuse more poetry and then guide people in seeing how to do that in just a few minutes' time, because poetry is such a tight little package, you know, so much language and imagery and just a few words. It's a great vehicle for helping kids learn language and learn skills, but we still want to keep it fun and respect the pleasure of the poem.